Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a report from HA Sustainable Infrastructure Capital, and let me tell you, it involves a lot of numbers and some interesting financial maneuvering, or maybe just greenwashing, who knows, stay tuned. This report mainly discusses how the company is planning to borrow $1 billion through new notes, basically IOUs, and what they plan to do with that money. It involves some debt refinancing, some green projects, and a lot of financial terms. The company hopes you don't pay too much attention to before we get in dollars through new notes, basically IOUs and what they plan to do with that money. It involves some debt refinancing, some green projects, and a lot of financial terms the company hopes you don't pay too much attention to. Before we get into it, if you like decoding complex corporate documents into easy to understand information, make sure to subscribe. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, where you can discuss this report and many others. So HA Sustainable Infrastructure Capital, that's the company's name, entered an agreement on June 12th of 2025 to issue and sell $1 billion worth of notes to a group of underwriters. Underwriters are essentially banks that help companies sell these notes to investors. These notes come in two flavors. One set is due in 2031 and a second one due in 2035. Basically, the company is borrowing money that they promised to pay back in those years. Let's talk about these notes a bit more. There are $600 million worth of the 2031 notes, and they have an interest rate of 6.15%. And they have an interest rate of 6.7% of the $600 million in interest each year until 2031. The other set of notes, the one due in 2035, are at $400 million and an interest rate of 6.75%. They are called green notes, which means the company is planning to use the money raised from selling them to fund environmentally friendly projects, or so they say. The company isn't selling these notes at their face value. The 2031 notes are being sold at 99.525%. It's a small discount, but when you are dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars, it adds up. So while they are issuing $1 billion worth, they actually get slightly less than that upfront due to these discounts. These notes will be guaranteed by a bunch of the company's subsidiaries. Subsidiaries are companies controlled by the main company. The names don't really matter for the most part, but it means that if the main company cannot pay the notes back, these subsidiaries will have to step in. By the way, all of this should happen if everything works out as planned around June 24th of 2025. So what is HA Sustainable Infrastructure Capital planning to do with all this borrowed money? Well, first, they are planning to use some of it to buy back some of their older debt, specifically notes with an interest rate of 3.375% due in 2026, and some 8% green notes due 2027, our basic refinancing. Think of it like trading in an old car with a high interest rate for a new car with a slightly lower interest rate, but extending the length of the loan. The company also plans to use some of the money to pay down their credit line. Then they will invest these new funds into eligible green projects. These projects can be new ones, existing, or involve refinancing. Money for projects that already happened in the past, and also those will happen by 2027, will qualify for this. In the meantime, while they are waiting to invest in these green projects, HA Sustainable Infrastructure Capital will invest the money in short-term, interest-bearing securities and accounts. It is a temporary parking of cash strategy. By the way, the sale of these notes is registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. The paperwork for all this is in registration statement, number 333285461. If you want to deep dive even further, you can look at the base prospectus, the preliminary prospectus supplement, and the final prospectus supplement, all from June of 2025. Classic supplement on from June of 2025. Classic one is described in detail the risks, terms, and process behind these notes. Now, putting it all together, HA Sustainable Infrastructure Capital is taking on $1 billion in new debt to manage existing debt and fund or refinance green projects. So what's the overall picture? Well, HA Sustainable Infrastructure Capital, like many companies in the green energy space, is relying on debt to fund operations and growth. One potential risk here is the reliance on the green label. If the projects the company invests in don't actually deliver the promised environmental benefits, or if they are accused of greenwashing by exaggerating their environmental impact, the company's reputation and stock prices would get damaged, potentially making it harder to raise capital in the future. On the other hand, HA Sustainable Infrastructure Capital seems to be well positioned, and although their strategy of using debt to finance operation is a bit risky, it is currently a common industry. However, I'm always wary of debt, especially when interest rates are constantly in flux, since it can hurt companies down the line. Alright, now that's our breakdown of Accession Sustainable Infrastructure Capital's latest filing. What do you think about this green focused company? Are you excited about their plans, or do you think there are too many risks involved? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you found this analysis useful, hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings. Don't forget to check out our Discord server in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.